What's up, fragrance connoisseurs? We're back with another video, and in this video we're going to talk about how to smell amazing but for the low. So we are in times where the actual prices of fragrances are increasing at an astronomical rate, and sometimes you want to smell good but you don't want to spend a lot of money for it. So here today I'm going to get into 10 fragrances that basically I got for $70 or less. I have one honorable mention that is a little more expensive, but we're going to go into some fragrance scent DNAs that you can get into for the low price and you will still smell amazing. So sit back, stay tuned for station identification, and we'll get into smelling amazing but for the low. All right, fragrance connoisseurs, we're back. And just in general, I did make a live where I talked about how much the price of fragrances has gone up recently. I know everything has kind of gone up as we got out of the COVID era, the pandemic, and it caused inflation to just increase at an astronomical rate. But I did want to give you some great smelling fragrances that are not that expensive. So I want to start and I want to talk about an honorable mention. Most of these fragrances are all going to be $70 or less. This one was right under $80, and this is Aqua Wood by Mancera. So I want to just put this as an honorable mention. I could have put any Mancera fragrance up. The retail value of them usually runs somewhere around $180 to $200. However, you can easily, very affordably get this on discounters for $90 or less, most of them. Some of the more popular ones may be between $90 and $100. They have niche quality. It is a niche house, and for the money, you can't beat the quality of them. So I featured this one. This is Aqua Wood. I could have used Vetiver Sensual, which is another great one, staple for the summer, Intense Cedrat Bourget. We could talk about so many different ones, but this one, I wanted to feature Aqua Wood. It's an aquatic blue fragrance. It's not really woody. I don't know why they put the name of Aqua Wood, but you don't get really a heavy wood presence. This one though is a nice signature. It's fresh, sharp, and clean, and what basically goes on this fragrance is you're gonna get an aquatic feel, but you're also gonna get an emphasis on rose and musk. So it's an aquatic, rosy, musky fragrance that really pairs well in the warm weather and is a really nice addition to my collection. In this one, when you talk about notes, you're gonna get pear, citruses, Indian ginger, Turkish rose, patchouli leaf, amber, white musk, benzoin, and incense. This is a really nice fragrance, and for just an honorable mention, if you want niche quality for the low, you have to look into the House of Mancera. It's definite, it's a must-have. To start off, I wanted to start with my first official fragrance, and this is Game of Spades Wildcard. Now, Game of Spades Wildcard is a very good interpretation of Bond Number 9 Lafayette Street. The notes that they say don't match up exactly, but the smell is dead on. I give this a 95% basic clone inspiration of Bond Number 9 Lafayette Street. The other thing about this is that this has a pressurized atomizer. This is a parfum, I believe. Yep, this is a parfum. I had to look at it again. So many fragrances. This is a parfum, and it actually performs better than Bond Number 9 Lafayette Street. I think if you put it in a scale, I would say Bond Number 9 is a little more polished, but not by much at all. The Lafayette Street basically has a kind of what I would call a high-end designer scent DNA. It's not a very intricate niche fragrance DNA at all. So this one does a great job of interpreting it. This is what you would get. It basically gives you kind of the spicy, clean linen, dryer sheet kind of feel. It's very nice. And for the money, this one I believe is right at about $68. So I'll have all the exact prices on the screen when I talk about it. But this is exceptional. In my opinion, if you don't have Lafayette Street and you want Lafayette Street for the low, this is the way to go. I do have Lafayette Street. I did a video where I compared the two, and they are very, very close. In the air, you will not tell them apart. If you are really discerning, in the last part of the dry down, you will notice that Lafayette Street is a little bit sweeter. But otherwise, in the air, you will not see the difference. That is my first one. Next, I will go with Sweet Tobacco, Man-Made 1821. Now this one is a tobacco fragrance that is not necessarily a summer fragrance. I believe it's light enough to be signature scent and that you can wear it year round. This one I got on eBay for $47. And for $47, this is a great fragrance. To be a honey tobacco fragrance, or sweet tobacco is what it's named as, it is different smelling. It doesn't smell like Naxos. It doesn't smell like Pure Vine. It doesn't smell like any of the other, it doesn't smell like Chergy, one of my favorites. But for the money, this is pound for pound, maybe one of the best honey tobacco fragrances. $47 I got it for. I think even if you don't get it on the eBay sale, it's probably right at the $100 range, but you can easily get this on eBay for about $47. Now, what makes this distinctive and what I really like about this is that it is an earthy animalic, if you can talk about animalic as far as a honey. It reminds me of the bite of that raw and organic honey. And then you mix it with the tobacco leaf DNA, and this is exceptional. The honey is not smooth, it's not refined. It is a raw organic honey that is in your face that gives you a really nice animalic side of a honey tobacco fragrance. I know that Chergy does it with the hay. This one does it with a raw organic honey that really blends really nice and makes it more of, in my opinion, a manly, raw, in your face, nicely blended fragrance. So as far as what you get in the notes, you get saffron, you get dried fruits, clove, lemon, and clary sage in the opening. In the mid, you get vanilla, tonka bean, honey, and amber. And in the base, you get musk, tobacco, leather, cedarwood, and patchouli. And like I say, the tobacco in the base is really, really nice. You get that touch of leather. You get and the leather may also lend to that kind of animalic, but it's not in any way overdone animalic. It's not in any way barnyard or anything like that. This is a really nice fragrance, and for $47, you can't beat it. You are gonna smell amazing, and this can go in the realm of almost any of the tobacco honey fragrances that you name, and it's only $47. Is it as smooth and refined as Naxos? No. But this one is really nice. You'll smell really good, and in the air, it is incredible. Next, we'll go with Rasasi Hawas Ice. Now, I have both the ice and the original, the OG Rasasi Hawas. I basically feel like this is a better version of Rasasi Hawas. It is a little less synthetic, a little smoother, and it's a little toned down from the sharpness of the original Hawas. However, that is really shaving hairs and getting really in the weeds of the details. To me, if you have Hawas, it's redundant to have ice. If you get ice, it's redundant to have Rasasi Hawas, the OG. However, if you don't have either of them, I would recommend getting this one. The performance is about the same. Maybe the OG performs just a little bit better, just a little bit louder, but Rasasi Hawas is nuclear. So if you don't want that nuclear type workout, then this one probably would be the one to get as well. Just has a very nice, clean, fresh signature scent. The plum really stands out. It stands out a little more in the OG, but this one, the plum really stands out. It's a very nice blend. In this one, again, you go into the notes of, in the opening, Italian lemon, apple, Sicilian bergamot, and star anise. In the mid, you get plum, orange blossom, and cardamom. And then in the base, you have musk, amber, moss, and driftwood. Very nice fragrance, gonna last at least 10 hours on skin. Projects very, very well, definitely above average. And it is a very pleasant smell in the air. I know a lot of people talk about Hawas and say it's synthetic smelling, but in the dry down, in the air, amazing. And you're gonna get it for right around, I think I got this for like $55. So this is a great smelling fragrance for the low. Next, we'll get into 9 p.m. by Afnan. This one, the price is great. $26.88 is what I paid for it. And for this, if you want that fresh, amber, vanilla, ultra malt twist, this is the one to get. This one is another fragrance that for the price, it performs exceptionally. This one lasts 8 to 10 hours on skin. It projects for the first 2 to 3 hours, and it is a really nice smelling fragrance. It does a very good job on that ultramalt inspiration DNA twist, and it's just a great fragrance. I basically do not, I had like the original ultramalt years ago, but in having this and in having some other niche fragrances like Commandante, I really haven't really delved into the ultramalt line of the flankers or anything else lately. Maybe I would like to get the elixir when I have it, but my motto, so many fragrances, so little time. I have such a long list of fragrances I want to get. The elixir just isn't up there at the top. This one, you're gonna get apple, cinnamon, wild lavender, and bergamot in the opening, orange blossom and lily of the valley, and then vanilla, tonka bean, amber, and patchouli in the base. Basically, if you want that ultramalt DNA, this is the one to get on the low. Less than $30, you can't really go wrong for that. Next, we will talk about Al Haramain Amber Oud. Let's make sure I get that into focus. I hope I did. So, the Amber Oud, this is Al Haramain Amber Oud Carbon Edition. And this one, I believe I got for right under $58. And this is a little expensive, but the quality that you get for the money is well worth it. So the Amber Oud Carbon Edition is gonna give you that clean, soapy musk with a great tea backbone. This is in the neighborhood of Green Iris Street, and Cool Water. I believe it's kind of like a mix. It's kind of in the middle of both of them, that it's not an exact clone of either one. It kind of does its twist, does its own thing, but this takes an historic DNA and just does an incredible job with it. And this one, I believe it's a 60 mil, so you're paying right around $1 per milliliter, but this one is a great one. Performs really well. It is at least 8+ hours on skin. I don't remember if I've actually done a full, like from start to end of how long this lasts, but I do know I've worn it at work and I work 8+ hours and I could still smell it at the end of my work day. Like I said, this comes off with Ambrox, which is a form of ambroxan, which really pushes it out. Black tea, Tunisian neroli, cedar, bergamot, ginger, and cinnamon. It's a great fragrance, great for the price. Haramain really does a good job most of the time. Most of their fragrances I really like, and the quality is usually top notch. This is one, if you like that green Irish tweed, but you want more of a modern twist to it, somewhere in between green Irish tweed and Cool Water, this one is a great one. Next, we will go with Prada Luna Rossa Ocean. So this one is actually, I was out traveling and I ended up getting this one because I was on a job in a meeting, and the person that was next to me in the meeting was wearing this, and I basically came out and said, "What is that you are wearing?" And he actually had it in his bag and he pulled it out and he showed it to me. Pause. He pulled out the fragrance and he showed it to me. I had the gems and nosy about all this pause stuff. It's just getting me to definitely think about what I'm saying. So he pulled the fragrance out and showed it to me. And so we get into the notes. It is an aromatic fougere. It really performed really well. I've seen some people on For Granted to say this is a poor performing fragrance. It's not. The one that I have, and I don't know if it's been reformulated or what has happened, but the one that I have performs really, really well. It lasts 6 to 8 hours easily, and it projects for the first 2 hours very, very nicely. And it's an aromatic fougere. You're gonna focus on the top, bergamot, pink pepper, and artemisia. In the mid, it's lavender, iris, sage, suede, and saffron. In the base, it's musk, caramel, Haitian vetiver, and patchouli. It's a nice blue fragrance, and I believe I spent $63 on this one at the discounters. I think I got it from Fragrance Box, and it was about $63. Nice blue fragrance, smells really great in the air. When I smelled it, when I was in a meeting that somebody else was wearing it, picked it up that next day because I really did like it, and not a bad price for the money. I really have started buying a little bit more designers because I did, when I got into my niche craze, I did basically get rid of most of my designers. But now that I have a channel and talking about different fragrances, I do want to keep some designers in the lineup, and that one is a really good one. Next, we will talk about another inspiration, and this is Al Wisam Day Pour Homme, and this is by Rasasi. This one I got from Joma Shop right at about $29.99. It is an inspiration of Silver Mountain water. Before, and to me, I can just only speak for me, the Silver Mountain water that I had didn't perform that well. It didn't last that long. Some people it may last longer on, but for me it didn't. And for the money that you pay for Creed, I really think it should perform better. What I did have in the meantime was Sea Eyes from Amalfi, and I thought that they did a very good job recreating that scent DNA profile. However, it was slightly synthetic, definitely not the quality that Creed has, but it was something that I thought got me, 85% in the neighborhood. It did the inkiness really well, and it was a nice, fresh, clean scent. Once I picked this up, it's replaced Armaf Sillage as my #1 inspiration of Silver Mountain Noir. This is a better blend, still not up to the same quality blend as Silver Mountain Water, but however, this is a much better blend than the Armaf version of it in the Sillage. Rasasi really does things pretty well, and I really am impressed with the house and what they did here. This is my #1 Silver Mountain Water inspiration, and whenever I want that Silver Mountain Water DNA, this is what I reach for now. I don't reach for the Sillage anymore. This one, especially for the price, I got it for right at $30 at Joma Shop, and you can't beat it for the price. The performance is really, really good as well. It performs about just as well as the Armaf Sillage, which is night and day over the Creed version of it. So for a tenth of the price, you get a really decent and smelling very, very nice in the air fragrance, and it's a great one. Next, we will go with what I think is one of the staples. This is Dylan Bleu by Versace. This one I got from Joma Shop right at about $50. It was $49.99. And this one is basically an underrated blue in my Bleu de Chanel is kind of the quintessential blue fragrance, but Dylan Bleu by Versace is really nice, and you can get it for a really great price. I think just as much as Dylan Bleu is one of the blue fragrances that you gravitate towards when you want that blue DNA, I think Dylan Bleu can also fill that void. It is, again, quintessential blue fragrance. It's one of the ones that I think as you go further and further along, it will be listed up with the classic blue fragrances. This one opens up with Calabrian bergamot. It has some water notes, grapefruit and fig in the opening. In the mid or the heart, it's ambroxan, black pepper, patchouli, violet leaf, and papyrus. And then in the base, it's incense, musk, tonka bean, and saffron. I don't know what else more I can say about this one. Great fragrance. You should really pick it up, and it's great to have it in the collection. Next one I wanted to talk about is a new fragrance that I got, and I guess I have to give shout outs to Terrence, Dame, Jims, and Jay for putting this one on the radar for me. This is, maybe I should talk about it. The name is Eclipse by Moudon. So in general, I have 2 by Moudon now. I want to get some other ones. They've been sold out. It's been kind of hyped up in our little fragrance corner. Fragrance community is a large one, but in our corner, we have been talking about Moudon. And so some of the ones that are more popular are harder to get, but I got this right for $55. The actual retail value I think is $110, but you can get it from Fragrance Lord for $55. And this one is a really nice fragrance. It puts you in the mindset of Bulgari Tiger or Sospiro Vibrato, or even in Novitas the Key. They all have that kind of same DNA. This one is a really nice blend of grapefruit. It's a very unique, I guess, bottle. Not necessarily unique, it's kind of common, but it's well put together. It's a very clean bottle. It has a pressurized atomizer, really nice. For $55, I think it's great. It is kind of like a twist on that Bulgari Tiger DNA. It doesn't have that fizziness or that ginger ale type kind of pop, with the ginger and stuff that comes into it. So it does go a little differently, but it's gonna put you in that 75% of that Bulgari Tiger kind of DNA. Really nice fragrance, $55 is great. It is, I believe, and I will have to kind of put that, it is an extrait. Yes, it's an extrait de parfum, had to look it up. So just very good, performs really well, lasted at least 8 hours on skin, and the initial projection was amazing. So it is really great. I did test this on the first impressions on a live, and it basically projected really well the whole live, and I think the live was almost 2 hours for that one. So this one, they put the notes right on the front, but it's too small. But it is grapefruit, definitely. Grapefruit is gonna be in there, but they blend it really well. They mix it with lemon, paradisson, bergamot. In the heart is magnolia, heteron, and violet. In the base is sandalwood and broxen and patchouli. Performs really well. Gives you that Bulgari Tiger kind of DNA. Not as kind of ginger fizzy as, say, Bulgari Tiger or some of the other inspirations that come in, but really nice. Last but not least is someone that I really think is a great one. This one is Bleu Noir for Him by Narciso Rodriguez. This one is a very different take on blue. I still kind of put it in the blue type category, but this is a very musk heavy woody fragrance. Different, very unique, and basically when I smelled it, I felt like I had to get it. I do believe that I smelled a flanker somewhere, but I didn't actually smell this one. But I think the line is really good. And I don't know if I smelled the parfum, and I ended up blind buying the EDP, which they smell differently, but this one is a nice fragrance. I think in Joma Shop, I got it for $60, right at $60. I really think if you want a nice, unique blue fragrance, this is basically an underrated designer fragrance. The notes are very, very simple, but it just works. It's musk, vetiver, cedar, ebony, and amber. It is very musk heavy, but it is a very, very pleasing fragrance in the air. When I wear it, I get mad compliments. People really like it. It's very manly. It is definitely leaning masculine. If you're that kind of, I want to have a masculine scent, this one is the one to get on the low. I would put this as far as having to have it in my collection, along with Dylan Blue, along with Bleu de Chanel. I believe that this, to me, is a staple in the blue lineup. It is, man, it's kind of has a kind of soapy cleanness to it as well, but the musk really pushes it out. The performance is very nice too. I believe it gives you that 7 to 8 hour range, and for the first 2 hours, it's gonna give you pretty nice projection at least 3 to 4 feet, a little more than arm's length, and you will get noticed with this. So this one, I would say, is another one for the low that you really need to get in your collection. All right, guys, that is my lineup to smell amazing for the low, and still in this kind of warm weather mode. I will be getting more into some of the fall as we get closer and closer to September. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this type of content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate all the support and love that we've gotten, but we really want to grow the channel, and we want to keep doing some new and different things. We appreciate all of the views, all of the support, all the comments that people have done. Again, I do a daily scent of the day in the community tab. If you subscribe and click notifications, you'll get to see what I'm wearing every day and I would really like to see what fragrances you are wearing. I comment, I definitely engage with the community, and I think it's a great time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. God bless. Yes, you can. And I sniff it. 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 Yes, you can. Well, I'm gone.